Welcome. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Eastern medicine's view of menopause and how it can help the symptoms as you're transitioning through perimenopause and menopause, but also help keep you healthy and vibrant long term because you're here for the long game and you need to feel good now, but you want to feel good long term as well. So, welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Angela Warburton. I'm an Eastern medicine practitioner. I've been practicing for the last 25 years in the clinic with women. I'm also a 55-year-old woman who's gone through menopause. Know what it's like, and I know what it's like to be a modern woman going through this stage of life. And we've lost touch with a lot of the wisdom. We've lost touch of a lot of the magic and power that comes through this stage of life. And we've really medicalized it and made about a lot of terrible symptoms, which if you have, you know they don't feel good and they can really suck the joy out of life and make things really hard. Yet that's not what menopause is. So it's so much more than that. So I'm really here to help you transition during this time with more ease, with more grace, with more power, with understanding your body, so that you have more vitality. And my everything is about the radiant woman. So helping you radiate the true essence of who you are out in the world and that you have the energy to do that. So that's why I'm here offering little tidbits every week. So welcome if you don't know me, if you haven't been here before, and welcome if you've been back. It's lovely to have you here. So Eastern medicine in its essence is about balance. It's like there's an ecosystem that is you, and if that balance goes off, then you're going to feel it. So the ecosystem is your physical body, it's what you eat, it's how you live, it's the relationships in your life, it's where you live, the seasons throughout the year, the seasons of your life, the seasons of a creative cycle, where you are in your work cycle, all of that has an impact on you. And I don't need to tell you that anything, if you don't feel well, if you have physical pain, that affects you emotionally. If you have an emotional upset, that affects you physically, it affects your sleep. So everything matters. And so what we're doing in Eastern medicine is reading the body. The body's talking all the time. It's telling you what it needs to know. So I always say we'll go from a whisper, like, hey, don't do that, to like a full on scream. It's like, hello, I'm trying to get your attention. And a lot of the symptoms that we commonly associate with menopause, are body screaming. Maybe for years before, there's been a little tug at the sleeve. There's something that's been off of balance, but it's like, that's okay. I can just push through and we're fine-ish, and we can manage. But then enter menopause, and as we get this natural shift in hormones, but we're losing that estrogen buffer that we got in during puberty, and we're going sort of back to more of a flat line. If we've been pushing through, overriding, denying, and not listening to our bodies and our emotions, we're kind of in a hormonal overdraft. And that's where we see a lot of the symptoms. And so menopause is a transition. It's like a shoring up of resources, and a reprioritizing of life force or energy. So the body, we say, the body's really wise, and it's like, wow, it takes a lot of energy to have a cycle every month and to build up this lining and produce a viable egg. And then, whoop, we're going to lose all that blood if we don't become pregnant. And if we do become pregnant, that takes a lot of energy too, not only having the baby and growing the baby, but then raising the baby if that's what you do. So then it's like, okay, I'm going to stop losing this blood every month and I'm going to reprioritize it and start using it towards longevity. So it's a way the body basically saves energy. And so it's this rebirth, we say as well. It's called the second spring in Eastern medicine. And it's this gathering of wisdom that you've gathered because you've lived a while now. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. You've had experiences, you've loved, you've lost things, you've cried, you've gained wisdom. And so it's this gathering of wisdom combined with your passion. What is it that you're really interested in doing? Letting go, a shedding of what wants to go, what you don't want to be doing anymore. Maybe you think you should be doing, but letting go of what really isn't feeding you anymore and stepping into the fullness of who you were born to be. So this is where what's interesting is the most impactful years of a person's life are actually in the 60s and 70s and 50s. So it's like we're just getting started at 50, but that's not the message that we have been told. We've been told being young is what's valuable, aging is something we should avoid, and anti-age, in any way we can, and that menopause is something that's really going to be horrible. When really it's like, okay, we've done it now. We've got some experience. Now we are better equipped to know what we want to do with our life. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that, but I want to do that. And so that's where, when we understand, we sort of go inwards, strip away, really look at what's been going on and what we're ready to shed, and then what we're ready to put our energy into, then we come out in the second spring with a renewed spirit. So there's phases to it, stages to it. I do a lot of this work with women, but it's this wise woman years. And if we use the Eastern medicine beyond for healing, what's how it can be very helpful when something's off of balance and when our hormones shift and we start to feel it. So if you're noticing that your body is giving you lots of messages, I have this little dog that just busted into my room and she's coming under my chair. So if I look distracted, that's why. So it's like listening to the call inside, listening to what your body symptoms are saying to you, and then being able to do the things, eat the foods, have the resources to bring balance back. So Chinese medicine, everything's about balance. It's about this ecosystem that's you. Every single symptom that you have means something. You have dry eyes, if you have floaters in your eyes, if you get hangnails, if you get ridges in your nails, if you wake up at 3 in the morning, there's a reason for that. And so it's these patterns. It looks at the body and these this is like 5,000 years in 5 minutes. I'm just giving you a basic idea of it, but it looks at the body in this ecosystem and patterns. And one system's off, it's going to affect another system. Each system is wise. It has a sense organ, it has a physical organ like your liver or a gallbladder, it has a time of day, a time of year, it has foods that are naturally nourishing for it. What's amazing too is that as we progress with what we're able to measure and track from a Western standpoint, we are able to show the things that we've been saying in Eastern medicine for thousands of years. Like green foods affect the liver in Eastern medicine. Oh, they really do. They are really key for that second phase of liver detox. We know that from a Western and we know it from an Eastern. So it's really the balance and beauty is when we can combine these systems together. So with Eastern medicine, it's really about this balance. We talk about yin and yang. That's sort of the overarching theme. That's like you're balancing your doing with your being, or you're resting. You're balancing your thinking with your feeling, your intuition with facts. You're getting an insight, and then you're putting that into action. That's the two that we balance together. We unfortunately are very off of balance, and we've dismissed or diminished a lot of the yin side. The yin's related to our estrogen, to the female hormones, yang more to that testosterone or adrenaline, more masculine hormones. This isn't about masculine, feminine, men and women, but it is these two parts. And we tend to have a world that has prioritized doing versus being, thinking over feeling. And so what happens is we have this imbalance that's happened over a long period of time, and women are denying those innate calls to rest, to listen, to be still. Because sometimes we feel like, oh my God, if I stop, things aren't going to get done. It's all going to fall apart. I'm going to disappoint these people. Most women I know are struggling with some version of that. And the problem is during midlife and menopause, your body is going to start telling you it's off balance, and you're the one who's going to be suffering. Not all those other, well, maybe the other people you're showing up for, because when you come from a place of imbalance or resentment or irritation or intolerance, but you're showing up because you said you would, it's not good for anyone. So when we can when you're able to understand what your body's saying, make micro shifts, sometimes it's not a big deal. It's not difficult, but it's hard sometimes, right? So sometimes there's simple changes, but we have to override this part of us that says, if I stop doing or producing, I'm no longer valuable. Or if I let someone down, what's going to happen? We don't even let ourselves know. When I prioritize myself, oh my God, does that mean I'm selfish? And so we sort of look at things in a different way. And then we're looking at the body too, and this idea of balance. I joke that it sounds like a weather report sometimes when we're talking about the body. Is it too hot or too cold? Is it too dry? Is it too damp? Is it got wind in it? So these are ways that we look at symptoms. If you're too hot, hot flashes, hot before you bed, red flushed cheeks, or you get these hot hands and feet. If you're too cold, do you feel like cold in your abdomen? Is your skin really pale? Do you feel worse with cold foods? This is a way you're be able to tell what's off of balance. That's your body's talking all the time. So we're always looking. If you want to know more about this, uh, I have a menopause body type course, and this is a platform where you're able to go through and see the patterns of your unique body because. The reason things don't work for everyone is because everyone's different. And so, what's going on with your body is going to be different than some other woman who's going through menopause. So, if we try to treat everyone the same, it's not going to work. And so, you're able to see the patterns, the dis-ease that's in your body, and then in this program in particular, I walk you through the foods, the tools, the resources, the exercises, even the meditations that are going to work for your body type. It's going to be totally different than another pattern. That's something that I do with people. I also work one-to-one. And if you're interested in that, there's a call link below. And if you're on, and I just want to say that this is very holistic medicine. This is very complementary to the rest of your life. If you're on HRT or want to do HRT, that's fine. That is going to help you with some immediate symptoms, but that's not an answer because if you don't get to the underlying cause of what's going on and you take away that HRT or you have to change it, which some of my clients, they like change the brand of something and all of a sudden their symptoms came back. You're not empowered. You're not understanding your body and you're not making deep systemic change that's going to last your lifetime. And that's really what I'm here to help women understand and to do is understand your symptoms because they're just trying to get your attention. And then when you understand that, and then you're like, oh, I know what to do when I feel like this, then you're better able to be healthy long term. And so this is what I did this weekend. I've been like rushing lately. I've had so many things that I've had to do. I don't think I've been home for many weeks. All summer, well, at least some of the days I was out, my had some family health issues on both my partner's side and my side, a lot of demands, a lot of things I'm responsible for. And this weekend, like I could just feel it. I was snappy. I was not feeling great. I was exhausted. I wasn't sleeping well because I was overtired. And I just stayed home and I canceled plans that I really like. There's this great 80s cover band. I love it. And we usually dance all night and I'm like, can't do it. I don't want to do it. And so it doesn't mean I won't do it in the future, but I stayed home. I puttered, I made good food. I did some yoga, did some meditation. I cleaned out the drawer of my bathroom drawers because they were gross and they were just little things that made me feel better. All of a sudden, I'm filled with more energy. I have more space. My temper is longer. I'm more inspired by things. So little ways that your body's talking to you, if you pay attention and take action. So this is one thing, if you have a local person that can talk you through and work with you around your particular patterns, that's great, a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. But if you don't, just one simple thing that you can do right now is pay attention and get curious. Look at your tongue. I'll put the link for my how to understand what your tongue means video, but that's one way your body talks. We look at people's complexion, their eyes, how they speak is it with a lot of energy or are they more, do they have more of a raspy voice or do they walk upright? Are they kind of collapsed anywhere? What does their tongue look like? What is their pulse? It's all information. And so just notice how you feel when you rush. Notice when you have plans and make plans with certain people. And when you spend time with them, do you feel better? Do you feel worse? If you feel worse, do you need to have a conversation with them? Do you need to shift or change relationships? Notice how you feel with media. If you watch something, do you feel better or worse? I know for me, I have a very short window that I will go on social media, like Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I'm following really inspiring people. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's neat. I'm starting to not feel so good. Okay, I'll put it down. I go into comparison or I'll go into overwhelm or whatever it is. Same with news. I don't watch any push news, things that they're going to feed stories to me, and I have no control over that. I will pull the news that I want. I have more control. I notice what my triggers are. I find it very negative, so I try to avoid those. What is it like for you? So just pay attention. Notice one of the biggest ways you can pay attention to your body is the energetic feeling. When you do something, does your body close up or does it open up? If you're noticing you're doing a lot of things that are closing you up, it's time to look at that. What wants to change? What wants to be heard? Got lots of tools for you. I'm always trying to offer different ways for you to understand your body. But this is just a little bit for you to get the idea of this ecosystem that is you. There's so much hope. There's so much that you can do if you understand what it's trying to say. And the first step is listening. No more overriding, no more pushing through. It's going to cost. The cost is too high during perimenopause and menopause. So if you're interested in knowing more, lots of links below, ways to connect with me, resources that I have. There's lots of resources out there. Find the ones that work for you. I'm here to serve. So if you like this video, hit like, subscribe. I'm always doing little different things, how to support you during this beautiful, magical time. It is a beautiful, magical time, even if it doesn't feel like it. And thank you for being here. I'm wishing you a beautiful day or evening. I will see you next time.